Captain Marvel is a movie that exists. Other movies that exist include Superman, Superman 2, Superman 3, Superman 4, Quest for Peace, Superman Returns, Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman. Kinda? I don't know. So clearly, Captain Marvel, and really female-led superhero movies in general, have finally run out of public goodwill after a long and honestly hit-or-miss history in film. I mean, we can't just have a predictable yet fun movie anymore. That just won't cut it. Okay, Lex Luthor isn't in all but one of the Superman movies. Alright? See this guy? He plays the exact same Lex Luthor as this guy. I bring this up because I feel like there's a disproportional amount of hate for Captain Marvel based on his quality issues and political agenda when compared to the actual film itself. I feel like it's worth mentioning that films are allowed to be influenced by the world around them. Actors, directors, writers, they're allowed to take their experiences and use it to inspire and motivate the stories they're telling. The difference becomes when that agenda becomes stronger than the story itself. So, does Captain Marvel have an agenda? Yes, because all films do. The context of that agenda might change, but every film, by virtue of being a story, means that someone is trying to give you a message or tell you something. So on one level, Captain Marvel has an agenda of female empowerment, but I don't think that overpowers the narrative at all. In fact, I think it empowers the narrative. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't quite know how to feel about Captain Marvel at first. I like it, but I don't think it's a great movie, and I don't even think it's one of the better Marvel movies necessarily. For me, it hits around middle of the pack, near the top, around Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, or Iron Man 3 even. Yes, I enjoyed it. Yes, I had a fun time at the theater. Yes, I am excited to see her in the future. But there is something holding the movie back for me that kept it from being one of the great Marvel movies. Movies like Black Panther or Captain America the Winter Soldier. And I believe that there are two scenes in this movie, one near the beginning and one near the end, that really illustrate the issues that I have with the film. Now, I'm going to talk about two scenes that I think illustrate what held this film back. And I'm going to talk about them in a bit of detail. So if you want to avoid spoilers, skip to this time, and I'm going to talk a bit more broadly about the movie in general. So let's get into it. The first scene, well, imagine this. You're in an art gallery looking at an expressionist interpretation of Captain Marvel saving Billy the Kid by just popping his arms out like a Lego man. You are overcome by the beauty and wonder of the art piece you are consuming. Then, all of a sudden, from nowhere, someone just kicks the soccer ball, hard kicks the soccer ball right into your stomach. That is what the exposition dump felt like in this scene. It was the most clear-cut, as you know, Bob, I've seen in a movie in a while. And then there's Ronan. Now, I don't hate Ronan, and I think given the right attention and writing, he would be an interesting character to see on screen. However, both in Guardians of the Galaxy, when he first appeared, and in this movie, he's not the main focus, and he seems out of place, especially in Captain Marvel. In this movie, to be honest, he just shows up and leaves. He's only on screen for one scene near the end, and I just was wondering why that was. I feel like the climax of this movie was split unnecessarily between Captain Marvel and the Kree that she battled with, and her fight with Ronan. And this fight with Ronan, I feel like, just cuts the climax in half. During the lead up to the climax, Captain Marvel is fighting with people that she supposedly has camaraderie with. And yes, while earlier in the film there are a few scenes that give a little bit of context to Captain Marvel's relationship with her companions, I wish there was a little bit more of that, and that would have given the climax that much more weight. All I'm saying, if that Ronan had time to be menacing over Skype and then show up and leave, that time could have been better spent building up these relationships. That being said, the rest of the film is pretty good in my opinion. The first action scene is genuinely exciting and sets up the rest of the story very well. There's a twist in the movie that serves to evolve Carol's character and affects the film in a meaningful way. Her interactions with Nick Fury benefits both characters and lends a sort of buddy cop vibe to the film that I enjoyed. And while Phil Coulson doesn't have as much screen time as Nick Fury by any means, neither of those characters feel like they're shoved into the script as fan service. In this respect, the filmmakers did a good job of reflecting the richness of the Marvel Universe without grinding the movie to a halt. I also like how Carol Danvers evolves as a character. It feels natural while not divorcing itself from the culture in which the movie exists, instead using it as a through line for her motivation and a catalyst for change. She's got a fun and enthusiastic personality that Larson sells well, and allows for humor to be driven by the narrative, making it more memorable than the 90s references that exist throughout, but not in excess. Because of this, I think Captain Marvel is a solid addition to the Marvel canon as the beginning of a new era in the cinematic universe. It also works really well as a standalone movie, with some personal caveats, and that can be hard to do when existing in an established canon. I went to see Captain Marvel twice, once in the middle of writing this review, and while I still don't think it's a great movie, I came out of the theater enjoying myself both times. I'm excited to see her grow and evolve as a character. I'm excited to see what role she'll play in Avengers Endgame, and what role she'll play moving forward from Endgame. And because of that, I think it's worth your time. I'd like to know what you thought about it though. If you liked it, what about it did you enjoy? And if you didn't like it as much, what would you have changed to make it better? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.